Hello and welcome. My name is Rhys Norman and this is Okina Oka Gumbler. What we're trying to do today is teach a little bit about how model kits are made. And the reason I'm doing this is because as a mechanical engineer working within mold machines for most of my career, I see a lot of misunderstanding of how things actually work and why we get some of the things we do. So what I'm trying to do today is just to get a basic understanding of the process and what we can do as engineers to change things and some of the problems you might see because of those changes. So down we go. So what we have here is an overlay, a diagram cross-section area of a mold machine. Before we can get to this stage, a mold machine manufacturer receives plastic in basically a big massive cardboard box, and that is full up of little granules. Looks a bit like coffee beans, little circles in a giant, usually giant box or smaller bag. What needs to happen then is plastic granules will get sucked out of this box into what we call a hopper, which is a basically giant heated area. That takes all of the moisture out of the plastic. So what we're aiming for is a nice dry, soft plastic bead. That gets then delivered all the way to the mold machine and sits in the hopper for the mold machine. The mold machine then, every cycle will, so talk at this end of the cycle, and when we get to that, you'll see what I mean when it comes back to this bit. What happens is, as the screw turns, it moves plastic forward, allowing the next shot to drop in. So as the screw turns, pressure is applied to the plastic. So this is like an Archimedes screw. It basically, as it winds, it forces the screw to force the plastic towards the nozzle, which is by here, which then melts the plastic. A lot of people think that heat is used to melt the plastic, but no. Pressure in this direction melts the plastic initially, and on the barrel itself you've got heater bands which just help to keep the plastic molten. So the plastic comes in, is pushed forward towards the nozzle, and for the start of the cycle the mold tool will be closed, as you can see by here. So what it does, the mold will force the plastic in, it gets narrower towards the tip, pressure, high pressure, forces the plastic into the cavity of the mold tool, which is like a cake tin, best way to describe it. So it's like a cake tin. Plastic fills all of the holes in this mold tool, pushes air out along gas vents, and is then given time to solidify in the tool. The screw will wind back and collect the next, or refill with plastic. The mold tool will then, when it's had its time to cool down, will open up and will then sort of, if I redo this bit of the diagram, let's rub it out quickly. So what you'll have then, as it opens up, with your little bit of moulding, it'll look like that. With your rear platen, it'll open up. And what you have inside of a mold tool, which you'll see on quite a lot of little mouldings, which I've got one by here, I'll show you now, are ejector points. So this is a Games Workshop sprue off a single figure. And what you'll have is little ejector points. So for every single one of these points is an ejector, which is basically thin pieces of metal which gets forced forward from the rear platen through the tool, and basically it will poke the mold out, breaking the seal on the moving half of the tool. So it pokes it out. Depending on how fancy the mold machine is, a robot might take that away. You might have a minimum wage worker open the door, take it out by hand, close the door, start the cycle again. And that's pretty much very much the basics of injection molding. Very short, very quick, concise explanation. I think that's pretty much all I need to say today. So that is very much the basics of an injection mold machine and how it works. Thank you very much. I think we're going to be doing this as a bit of a series. I've got a lot of things that are more complicated that are going to be added on to this. Any questions about injection molding, please leave a comment below. And don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Thank you very much.